screen.
Okay. Sorry.
Hi, welcome to the Codependent Knitters Knitting Podcast. This is my friend Lisa.
And this is my friend Dawn.
And we're the Codependent Knitters. This is episode 23, and we have some new subscribers.
Holy.
Again. I know.
Yes.
So welcome everyone who's new, and thank you for joining us.
And everybody who's come back again, thanks for joining the
Thanks for coming back.
The fun.
We have a lot of knitting actually today. But first we'll talk about just stuff we've done.
Okay.
We went to Woodstock.
We went to
Feast
Woodstock
Festival.
and it was fun. It was great to see everybody. There was tons of people there.
Woodstock. This is in Woodstock, Ontario.
It was bigger this year than last year. It's becoming quite. It's big.
Over 85 vendors, and this is a true fleece, like a fiber festival.
Yes.
Yeah, because they do have livestock, and they actually have barns because it's at the farmers market location in Woodstock. So it's really neat because there's something for all kinds of fiber crafters. There's rug hooking, weaving, felting stuff.
There's macrame there.
Yes.
That was new this year. There's macrame.
Yeah.
I mean, because the rug hooking's there every year, and the rug hooking guild is there, and the embroidery guild of London was there, and the weavers of London and Strathroy were there. There was a lot. It was good.
It's kind of like a mini Rhinebeck. So it's like 5,000 people instead of, I don't know,
Too many.
50. But it's a lot of fun.
There was llamas and alpacas and
Rabbits.
big Pyrenees puppies. And,
The herding dogs.
It was fun. It was really good.
It's a good show.
So yeah.
I think that's probably our favorite, hey?
Yes, that is my favorite in Ontario.
Yeah. So what did we find at Woodstock?
Okay, I have to show you this little thing. I think it was just ingenious, and I saw it in Kitchener.
Okay.
I saw it in Kitchener. It's from Patina is it Bayfield? Yes, Bayfield.
Did you get his card?
I didn't.
We'll put it on the screen. We'll look it up and put it on the screen.
Yeah, and I thought it was really nice. They had them at Kitchener, but they had them in all the wrong colors for me. And I asked him to make one, so he did. And it's like a little... It's pottery, and it's like a cup, and it's got a little place for your scissors, because I always use my scissors.
Yeah.
So this is on my counter, and I throw all those little stitch markers you find through the house.
Yep.
And stuff in there, and then I go through it and tidy it up, but my scissors are always available.
I
just thought, you know what, it was pretty ingenious, and he made me white. Solid white.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's pretty cool. So yeah, what did you? Let's show something you got.
Something I got. I mostly got yarn, and I was not looking for any. It wasn't my first purchase. I bought just a couple of balls of big fiber, like roving, I guess, because I want to do dryer balls.
Okay.
So I won't show. They're in a bag somewhere. That's just big puffy bundles of fiber. But then my first yarn purchase was from Dragon Strings. And they always have really neat colors. And the tag with the name of the colorway fell off, so I'll look it up and put it on the screen if I can find it. But basically, this is a sock yarn. And basically, it's charcoal.
I don't know what it's called, but it reminds me of Night Sky with the
but there's
Northern Lights.
It's got all the rainbow colors in this one little section. And so this is going to make like what? 2 stitches of color? Look how short that is.
That would be really,
And they had a sample knit up. So basically if you're doing a sock, and it would depend on how many stitches you use, etc. But you end up with almost like a little polka dot effect.
Oh,
like with this random, there's a pink here, and then another few rows, there's a purple, and then
that's awesome.
Right?
That's
so
kind of cool.
Out of once around, I probably get about 3 rows.
Yeah, that's really neat.
So I thought that was really cool. They had it on a light gray as well. And I don't remember seeing this before, so I don't know if it's new. But so that was from Dragon Strings.
Very cool.
And then I went a little crazy at Leo and Roxy. I went back 3 times.
I bought a t-shirt.
I love it. So Leo and Roxy are 2 indie dyers. They both work at Little Red Mitten in St. Thomas, Ontario. and they started dyeing about a year ago, and they have a really cool booth. We've talked about them. We talked about them at the Kitchener show in our last episode.
They give me my pixie sticks.
They have pixie sticks in their booth, so if you need a little sugar boost to up your energy,
Yeah.
this is my Leo and Roxy mug.
Yeah, so I bought a t-shirt, and
Love it.
Carrie was nice enough to cut the collar for me. while we were
I
there.
like that. That's kind of neat.
Yeah, so yeah, it's kind of cool. I love it. Should I show them what's on the back?
Yeah. Do they all say the same thing?
I don't know.
Love it. So you got a t-shirt, and I bought a bunch of yarn, and I'm in a worsted phase. I don't know why. Because
Then it's up faster.
I'm buying like single skeins, so I'm gonna make a bunch of hats. Probably not, but I did buy a couple of singles. So I bought, I don't have the other one. I just bought a gray, and then there's another kind of, it's like a gray with other like really subtle color in it. I don't have it here with me. I think this is their, which gray is this? Doesn't say. Is this Meredith?
Nope.
Okay. They had some one of a kinds, so I can't remember. This might have been that. But this is, I love this. This is Little Mermaid on the worsted. Beautiful. And they have an MCS worsted. And you and I did like a blind field test where I said, close your eyes, and I put a skein of each in your hands. And it's, their regular worsted is so soft.
That's Meredith.
That's Meredith. Okay, so this is darker. So they have really nice worsted. So I just love this. I don't know what it's going to be yet, but it may get combined. It could be combined with a gray to make
That's pretty.
a scarf or a shawl. Or it would be a beautiful cowl or a hat. But
You're
I
going
love
to be
it.
all warm this winter.
I know.
So
I just
got
need
these.
time to knit it. You got those from Leo and Roxy?
I did.
I
I
have to
got
hold them up.
My daughter wants
These
one
are
of those.
really fluffy.
I know, right? My daughter wants one of the ones, the hats, let's see it for a second, that go like this, one on each side.
They have a snap.
So the girl child wants one that goes like this. A hat.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, and I bought more yarn.
I like this one.
This is a
one's-
trio I bought.
It's not me, but it's so gorgeous.
So this is a gray and plum. It's beautiful.
And cream.
And then this is a sort of a tonal to go with it.
Reaching.
And a dark gray. This is a one of a kind, and I only bought one. They did have a few. This is called Omen. This plummy purple. That's a nice representation.
And this one is called McSteamy.
Mixteeny.
So yeah.
And initially I was thinking I could use these to do is it Malibu Shawl by Jody Brown, which was written for DK, but for me, like DK worsted, and this is not a heavy worsted. Like I think I could get away with it because it does call for 3 colors, and I might, but I'm not sure yet. There were a couple of other shawls that I saw that I liked, or
Did
cowls.
you see that fleck of green?
Yeah, there's like little tiny bits.
Sorry, I didn't mean to grab at your yarn there.
Just in here you can
It's
see
like a
them.
limey, olivey green. It's very pretty.
Oh, right there. Yeah,
Sorry.
just tiny bits. So I have a trio for something. I don't know what. Talked about those.
I bought this.
Where'd you get that? That's not Leo Roxy. You got
No, I got this at
that? Rosehaven.
Rosehaven in Picton, and I loved it. It's I've seen them, but they never have gray.
It's the wrist ruler bracelet.
Just what everybody needs.
So they're leather, and they come in different colors.
They had like bright colors. They had metallic colors. They had natural colors. The natural one was nice too.
The natural browns.
Yeah, like there was one where it was actually natural and untreated.
There was one in a aubergine, like a
That
dark
was pretty,
plum,
yeah.
but it wasn't my size. So they actually come in 3 different lengths, and I have
Yeah.
a bigger wrist than you.
Mine's
so
15.
yeah, I tried them on, and I would order the largest one, but they didn't have any left in the color that I want. So someday,
Bummer.
I'd like to get one of those. That'd be fun.
Okay.
And
And then this is the last thing that I bought.
more pom-poms.
I bought more pom-poms. I think I bought these the same place that you bought your
my fiber.
Your fiber.
We can't remember where she bought these. If we can figure it out, we'll put it on the screen.
There was a nice boy.
And do these snap on as well?
Can I say what the man's shirt said?
They do. What?
I bought these from a man that had a t-shirt on that said, "Come feel our balls."
Did you say it? You should have gone up to him and said, "So, can I feel your balls?"
I did. I said no. I said, I want these ones.
Yeah, I love these. Yeah, and if you ever buy these pom-poms and they're a little flattened, you just give them a really good hard shake, or you can fluff them with a blow dryer, but not, if they're synthetic, don't get the heat too close. Like, put it on cool.
I mean, this one reminds me of a bad hair day.
Love them.
Love them.
Those are
So,
awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. And were those from...
No, those are from the other thing.
Okay, so that was... That was Woodstock.
Woodstock.
We only took a few pictures, and so we'll just put a few at the end in our slideshow.
We're
Last
a little
year,
distracted. We have to work on the pictures,
you know what?
people.
I know,
we have
but
to.
we went as knitters.
Yeah.
Like, not thinking about this is something we want to do for our podcast. We just did it as something for us. So we tend to go to events as knitters and forget that we have a podcast. Because it's not all about photo ops and doing everything for our podcast, right? It's, yeah. And we just got caught up and forgot to take too many pictures. But last year we did a really good, like we did some pictures, a lot more of it last year, I think. So, whatever.
All right.
Oh, and they had a podcaster meetup.
They did.
That was new this year.
That was new.
Yeah.
It was good.
Yeah, it was okay. It was in one of the barns. So we met a few new people and sat and chatted.
You know what? It's nice. I got to sit and chat with Tiffany from Knitting at Tiffany's.
Knitting at Tiffany's.
Yeah, she's great.
Who else was there?
She's awesome.
Alyssa, who
Alyssa
is Mrs. Comet Hunter, and her podcast is Knit One, Breathe Two.
Yeah.
Debbie, who is The Loving Path.
Yeah.
She has a podcast. There was us. There was the Fiber Friends. Was that it? Or was there someone else? If I forgot anyone, I'm sorry.
No, I think that was it. That was it.
Yeah. It was
cold
fun.
out there, though. It was
we were out
in the barns.
One of the barns. But it wasn't too bad. The other barn was colder. So,
yeah. Just if you go to Woodstock, remember your hat, your mitts, scarf.
Yeah, dress for it. It was a cooler day, which was nice because we could wear our knits. Speaking of wearing knits, I finished my Aura shawl by Caitlin Hunter. I wore it to Woodstock. Finally got the fringe put on it. So now it's officially an FO. It's got everything on that the pattern called for. And I love it.
Well, your fringes look kind of interesting from this side.
Well, you know what? I've sprayed them and flattened them twice, and they get...
That's the nature of the beast. It looks nice when you wear it.
Just quickly, because I did cover it in other podcasts, the first color is Paper by Madeline Tosh, Tosh Merino Light. These two colors are Unicorn Tails by Madeline Tosh in Antique Lace and... No, I forget. I'll put it on the screen. The next color is... I just love it. It's Film Noir by Hedgehog. And it's the Hedgehog Skinny Singles. And then just the light colors down at the bottom again for this ribbing. I love this wide ribbing edge. Like I blocked it out so it doesn't like suck in like normal ribbing, right? This was done on a 4mm needle.
Yeah, so it's big enough.
I got gauge on the 4mm needle. My inclination would have been to go down a little bit, but I knew from reading other projects that this was finishing on the smaller side and some people were adding stitches. And I definitely wanted it to block to the specs because that's kind of the minimum length I like. I think it was around 60 inches to get tails that hang enough that it doesn't fall off, right? So I knit to gauge and I blocked it out and I got a couple extra inches out of it. Like I think I was like 71 inches or something.
Good job.
No, then it wasn't 60. Whatever it was, I got 4 inches more than the schematic. Probably says in here. Oh, 68. Okay, so it would have blocked to 68, and I think I got 71. So,
Good job.
Love it. I love it. And, you know, if I get tired of the fringe, I can take it off. And if you don't like fringe, you can still knit the shawl and just don't put the fringe on. This was a lot of work, putting this fringe on. Like, time. It's not hard, but it just... cutting the pieces and putting them through and then trimming them all, right? So, because when you pull them through, they get wonky. So, love it. And it's not hot in here, so I'm going to keep wearing it.
You go crazy, girlfriend.
So, I I entered these in our nearby town has the biggest fall fair in southwestern Ontario, Brigden Fair. And this is a town of like, I don't even know if there's 1,000 people. It's a very small town, and they get over 50,000 people over the weekend to the fair. This is just the fall fair book. So the prize books. So I just want to encourage everyone that if you live somewhere where there is a fall fair, or there's one nearby, check what they have for knitting and crocheting and other crafts and put your stuff in, because there was so much quilting, and there actually was a bit of, like, there is a lot of knitting and crocheting. There's a lot of what I would say more traditional knitting and crocheting. Well, you know, yeah, like just, you know, very nice stuff. Not as much more modern. Like, I would say this is more of a modern thing. But there just is so much quilting, and I feel like knitting and crocheting is underrepresented, especially knitting. There was a lot of crochet. So that's my call out to everyone to enter your fall fair. And so you get this prize book, and they have all the divisions.
Represent, people. Represent.
let's like yarn bomb the fall fairs. So they have a bunch of categories, and like it's just for fun, because you really don't win.
You know what? The categories
money.
are probably different for every fall fair, so you should really check out
They are.
the
Oh
ones
yeah, I'm
that
not going to go over them,
that you
but there are
in your
multiple
area.
categories.
Yeah.
And I think most of them have the same criteria, that it just has to be something that you've made since, like, in the past year. So I can't go back and enter this again. I can't enter something older.
So let's see what you got.
So this shawl I entered in the shawls and ponchos category, and I got a first for the category, and I got a judge's circle. So overall, for all the classes, so
This is my
it's
friend
really
Dawn.
nice.
She's an award-winning knitter.
my shawl is, and it's just, you know, they have a separate circle where they put all the judges' choices from the different classes, out from the different categories, like groups. So I got a ribbon for this, and then I also entered. It's in the back corner. You saw it in the last episode. It's my Agent 99 cowl, and it was the the DK version that I did.
Yeah.
So they had a one skein category.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, and I got second in that. So anything made with one skein, and you attach the ball band and to show, you know, what size the skein was, etc. And then I entered they have a category for 2 knitted dishcloths. Last year I entered crochet dishcloths, I think. So this year I thought I'm gonna knit some, because I usually always crochet dishcloths. So these were, okay, the light is really showing off the texture. These were just a textured, like, knit and purl pattern. So I hope you can see that's an apple. And then
Very cool.
this is, which way is the right side up? This is an owl on a branch.
Shows up really well.
Yeah, it does.
I like that one. That one's cute.
Yeah. So now people want to know the patterns. Oh, and I knit these. Both are in I Love This Cotton from Hobby Lobby. In a teal color and just a taupey gray color. They were actually fairly easy. They're charted. So it's just a lot of counting. And then I didn't soak and block them. I pinned them and sprayed them. Right, because I didn't want to distort them too much, and then you just want to have them nicely square if you're entering them in a fair. I mean, if you're just going to use them, who cares? But so I did that. And patterns. Okay, I will put it on the screen because I'm going to say this totally wrong. The apple was Gruner Apfel, A-P-F-E-L, by Deborah 9 on Ravelry, and she has a number of very similar charted patterns, like different images. The owl came in actually a bigger book of, like, there's so many. So they're and that one is Spoolie Ul auf Zweig by Mama Free. I'm gonna put all this on the screen, and I'm sure these people aren't watching us, but if you are,
sorry.
I am so sorry. I don't know if I brought the charts here. Oh yeah, here. It's just to give you an idea. So they're just charted like this. So you just follow the chart, and it's knit and pearls. So they're actually
Yeah,
quite
you can
easy.
actually do a baby blanket with a bunch of those.
You could, because you could do different square. And this is actually, I think I did these on a 3.0 or a 3.25 millimeter, because it is a finer cotton than like the Bernat Handicrafter. This is
Also, if you're going to do a texture like that, you should go down a needle size and tighter so that it gives you more three-dimensional
And I'm loose to
look.
begin with, right?
Yeah.
A loose knitter, so there you go. So that's a good size square, like if you were doing a blanket. And they had, there's all kinds. So it's a really great, the book itself is written in German, I think. However, it's just a chart, so you don't need the ink. I think there's like
Just count the squares.
No, I'm wrong. There's an initial page, like 1 or 2 pages in English that explains how to use the patterns, and then it's just charts. All the rest is pages and pages of charts. So those were a lot of fun, actually. They didn't take that long, and it's something new I haven't done. And they got me a first. Those got a first place. Did I say that already? Yeah.
Yeah.
For the teenage
No, it's
class.
funny that you mentioned that, because I have a book that is called Simdi, and it's in it's like Latvian, and it's about this thick, and it basically, when you open it, there's a picture of a mitten, and then there's a chart.
Just charts.
Yes, but hubby saw it, and he's like, why do you need, like, he says, there's no patterns in here. Why do you need pictures of just mittens? And I'm like, no, honey, see, that one's a graph. And he's like, that's the pattern. Yeah, it's beautiful.
Because really, whether it's
any
different
charts, you
stitches,
just count them and you're good.
yeah, it's either different stitches, or if it's one color and textured, or it's different colors. So you just count 4 squares this color, 2 squares that color.
Yeah.
So don't be intimidated by charted patterns. And actually, color work or texture like this is a really good way to start
and get used to them. Yeah.
Yeah, because if you get into a different chart, that like a lace chart where you have increases, decreases, those are a little more complex. So it's good to be comfortable with reading charts first, and then you will have a lot less difficulty doing something more complex. So that was Brigden Fair.
I didn't go.
You know what? We didn't actually go to the fair this year. Like go see everything. It was rainy, and there was just other stuff going on that weekend.
What weekend is it?
Thanksgiving.
Yeah, that's why we
We
never
wanted
go.
to, and we usually do. So I ended up just going back and picking up my stuff.
Yeah.
But that's, yeah. I think that's it for the fair. It's a lot of fun. Enter your knitting. And I don't pick, like, I think maybe some people choose like what they want to knit for the fair. I don't do that. The prize book doesn't even come out till like a few months before. It's just whatever I'm knitting or have finished recently, I take a look at the categories, and if I have something that suits the category, I throw it in. So I had a hat I threw in. It didn't win anything. I didn't care. I didn't think it would. But it was just, I registered for categories, and then whatever I had done, this is the shawl I happened to have been working on that I thought was kind of pretty that I did this year. So I put that in. Yeah.
Very cool.
Okay, and then, so that was actually Thanksgiving weekend. Woodstock was the following weekend. And a couple days after Woodstock, we hosted a pop-up shop for Leo and Roxy. So we did that at my house.
You know what? It's amazing how that avalanche to them coming to visit us for burgers.
Oh yeah, it started.
It was awesome.
Yeah, they actually had
It was so
messaged
cool.
us a few weeks before, right? Just saying they wanted to come to Sarnia and come have a burger and knit with us. And then it just kind of was like hey, you should bring some yarn and we'll have a pop-up shop. And then it happened.
It's kind of nice because we do have a fair amount of viewers here.
Yeah, so we told all the people, like our friends and people we know, and we also put it out publicly because anyone was welcome. And we had a pretty good turnout, and I think they had a good night.
From the ladies that came from London.
Yeah, 2 ladies came from London just for that, which was awesome. And people were welcome to stay and sit in my living room and knit for a bit. We had some coffee and tea, and it was a good evening.
It was fun.
Yeah. Yeah, and it just kind of like, it was just sort of a spontaneous, hey, we should do this, and then we did it. So
It was fun though. It was really good.
So at after we had the pop-up shop, they donated a skein of yarn for a giveaway, which was wonderful. So they said pick one. And so we picked one.
I love the name of this one.
This is called It's Not That Hideous. I don't know if this was an oops or what, but
It's pretty though. I love it.
it's 80/20 sock. And it's got different colors in here. And Lisa was kind of looking at it earlier on the table, so we went with this. It was only one of them.
You know what, a funny story. I was looking at it, and a lady was beside me, and she says, that's kind of neat. I said, yeah, it's not that hideous. And I handed it to her, and she kind of looked at me, and she goes, just because it's not gray. I said, no, that's what it's called.
It's not that hideous.
And she thought I was being, she's like,
That's
just
funny.
the look she gave me was priceless. It was so good.
So
yeah.
thank you, Carrie and Jolynn. They're really awesome, and if you're in this area and you have a chance to see them, they have some trunk shows coming up.
Yes, they
in
do.
Ontario. Go check them out, and they're online, and they have lovely yarn.
And they're also at Little Red Mitten.
Yep.
Like you can buy the yarn there.
They have quite a lot of stock at Little Red Mitten. So I have a whip I'll show in a bit, but their sock yarn's really nice. I'm knitting with it right now, and I really like it. It's nice and plump, and it's just, it's squishy and good.
Okay.
So we did that. Also at the pop-up shop, I got more Leo and Roxy. Adrian owed me some money for, I forget what, but she owed me some money. So she said, well, I'll just pick up a skein of yarn and I'll pay for it, because then, you know, we're square. So
Oh, I remember that's
this, okay, so here, this is actually also Little Mermaid. Different, totally different base, right? So the colors
Yeah,
come out a little
very
differently.
cool.
This is on MCS worsted. It's lovely. So beautiful, rich blues and greens. And I also picked out this one. This is called Americana. And it's like, it just makes me think of a speckled, it's named after the breed of hen that lays these eggs. Yeah, that's what it was. I'm like, it looks like those speckled eggs, because it's supposed to, because that's what they died after. So I love this. I don't know what this is going to be, but I love it. And then I also got a skein of Stephen West. The color is called Stephen West. And it's, look at that. That's perfect. It's neons. This is sock, 80/20 sock. I'll probably make socks with it. So I got those at the pop-up shop. And you?
Well, they brought me my Stephen West.
Yeah.
So I have 2 of those.
Yep.
And I got these. These are, okay, please be seated. Everybody sit down.
This is so not Lisa.
It's kind of shocking. So this one here made me laugh. It's called Birthday Party.
I can't believe you picked this. Is this going to be for you or for your daughter? You thought you.
No, I thought me.
That's 80/20 sock.
Yeah, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to like stick to gray and be like a hot mess on my socks.
I like that idea.
Right?
Go nuts on your feet.
Yeah, so those, and it feels great. It's really beautiful. I love it.
Yeah.
And then there was this one.
I love that.
And this is kind of, this one made me laugh. It's called Call Me.
Call me.
I know, that's what we were doing at the table. Call me anytime. So yeah, but it's beautiful. And that is an
MCN sock. And there's little bits of gold in it.
Yeah,
But
so that's
I love
really
that.
pretty. And then there's this one.
Also MCN sock.
No,
Do you want me to hold it?
that's MCS
I lied.
Sport.
MCS Sport.
So yeah, isn't that beautiful? I think I might make a hat of that one. I love hats. I wear them all winter.
Do it. This color would look so good on you. Like, it does not have to be gray.
No, no. So there's no gray there.
Okay.
No gray.
Okay.
It was rather shocking. But yeah, no gray. So yeah, but that's
Okay.
my,
I think that's the end of, like, new stash.
yes, that is. Do you want to go on to FOs?
No.
No.
We have
No.
a giveaway to do.
Nice.
Our BFA'd Cal closed at the end of September,
Oh yeah.
and we have to pick a winner. We haven't recorded since
Perfect.
late September, so we have to pick a winner. So there were a couple people commented in the FO, so I'm going to exclude those. They were right at the end. Okay, there are 14. So we need to pick a number between 2 and 14.
Suri, pick a random number between 2 and 14.
Oops.
The answer is 8.
8.
8. 8 is, it's Asa. Asa's in Norway.
Yay!
Asa's been watching us like since the
beginning.
dawn of time. Yeah, since the
Yeah.
dawn of our podcast.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, she
That
knit.
was like a.
I don't know if I
beach.
can show it. It might work. She knit Feather and Fade. It was a test knit.
You kind of have to lower the.
There we go.
Oh.
There. You can see it there. It's really pretty. I love the blues. Okay, well, congratulations, Asa. You have won a project bag. Okay, go. Go out. 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 Don't argue. Keep going. Out. Okay.
Sorry.
So
Okay,
you've won
fun.
a project bag. So this is from Sticks and Pins. I'll put their Etsy shop on the screen. And it's a nice kind of a canvasy fabric with some vintage
Vintage wheels of sorts.
wheels and birds
birds.
inside. So congratulations, Asa. We will, I don't know if I still have your address because I think Asa won a prize or else ordered from my shop a long time ago. So if I can't find your address in the shop, then I'll message you. In my old orders, I might have it.
Okay.
Right. So,
perfect.
but I'll message you if I need your address. I know who you are. Congratulations and thanks to everyone who entered. There were some really beautiful entries. We still have 2 other knit-alongs going on.
Okay.
We have
The Caitlin Hunter.
Caitlin Hunter. So this was a Caitlin Hunter pattern. Did I say
Yeah.
that? Aura by Caitlin
Yes.
Hunter. And it's going till the end of October.
I'm
or
not going to
November.
get my sweater done. I took it out. I don't like it. I don't. The yarn
You changed
is
your
not.
mind? Do
the
you
yarn
want
is-
to talk about that?
Sure. Let me just.
It's a good time to talk about it because
Um.
it's a good conversation about sometimes a yarn isn't the right yarn for a project.
It's just not the right yarn for the project. It doesn't give me what the look I want.
So it's a colorwork shawl that Lisa wanted to do in one color, and there
And make
were
it a texture.
yeah, and there were
But
other projects that did that.
I just don't think that there's enough chain. Like it's.
You don't get quite as much
You
stitch
don't get a lot
definition,
of stitch definition, and I'm just not really too
and that's
sure.
because this is. You think it's because this is a superwash.
I'm thinking yes. So yeah, it's not what I want to use that yarn for.
You can see there's texture, but it you can't see the definition of the design.
texture.
Yeah. So
I'm either gonna have to do what is suggested and do it. Sorry, do it in different colors, or I mean, don't get me wrong. The yarn, this yarn is beautiful. It's
just not for this project.
Sweet Georgia. It's just not for this project at all.
You could do it in 2 grays, or like a not a superwash.
Not a super
Or
wash. I
you
just
thought-
don't think that it.
You thought maybe a single ply?
I was thinking. I have at home. I think I have a couple of cinder, and it has more color difference, and I think that it would show it better because it's also a single ply.
Okay.
So yeah, but that's
And sometimes
that's
that happens.
It happens. It's life of a knitter.
Yeah.
But
You didn't get very far in. Thankfully, it's not bottom up.
No, right? This one here, though, I think the yarn would be really good for just a plain sweater. You know what I mean? Just a plain kind of, I want to say sweatshirt style where you wear it all the time.
Yeah.
So yeah, but that's okay.
Okay.
But I'm just letting you know, I'm out on that one.
She's out on the Caitlin Hunter.
I'm out.
You could do a hat or something. Just saying.
I'm
So Caitlin Hunter's still going on, and did that one close on at the end of October? I think it did.
Yeah, I think it's supposed to.
Okay, so this will be out before the end of October. So
Yep.
get your finished projects in.
Yep.
For that. The prize for that is going to be this lovely
All right.
circular needle organizer, which we showed on our last episode. This was a donation from Sticks and Pins,
Yeah.
and it folds up. It's really nice. So if you want to win that, get your
Again,
prize
thank
in.
you very much. Sticks and
Thank
Pins.
you. And our Hat Madness goes to the end of October.
yes,
There's
yes.
so many entries. It's amazing.
I know, but how could you not? The hats, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So we started this because of the Hat Not Hate campaign,
Yeah.
which we've talked about a lot in our previous episode. But the Hat Not Hate campaign is about a blue hat to to represent Anti-bullying. Yeah. And so our knit along is Hat Madness. So any hat, but if it's blue, you get another entry. And if you knit my Not Too Fancy hat, which is this one, you get another entry. So you could have up to 3 entries for one hat.
Very good.
Yeah. So that's the Not Too Fancy hat. And the best part is we have an amazing prize, and we've gushed and gushed about this. So sorry if this is you hearing this again, but we could gush again. This is Lewis's No Bully Blues. It's a dedicated what's the word? Exclusive colorway for the Hat Not Hang campaign.
It's beautiful. It's so gorgeous.
Knitting Wolf Luxury Yarns dyed for Louis Boria, who is Brooklyn Boy Knits, who is one of the leaders along with Lion Brand Yarns of this campaign. So this is a skein of worsted that you can win as a prize.
And I received
He gave us each a skein.
Yeah, he gave us a skein of fingering.
MCN.
And a little howling wolf.
Yeah, there's a wolf charm.
But isn't it gorgeous? So I decided to put the wolf on it because Girl Child has a hat.
So you did the sockhead hat?
Yeah, and I have a hat by Kelly McClure.
Kelly McClure.
And this is the other one.
So you got 2 hats.
I got 2 hats.
Yep.
Yeah.
They're
So
beautiful.
they look amazing.
Yeah. Oh, I look terrible in a hat. Oh God, no, I can't wear it. Sorry. I'll just hold it.
Yeah, so I love them. The blue is gorgeous. That one's a little bit...
This is beautiful. I don't know if
I
you can
didn't
see
do it
the
as
colors.
crazy slouchy as she does, which I never do.
It's just beautiful yarn.
So yeah.
Oh, you didn't do it as slow? Oh, not as long.
No, this one is... My Girl Child is a little bit more beanie-ish. And mine's a little slouchy.
A little bit. But you wanted to get 2 out of a skein.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, awesome. Oh, I do have a thread though for my Agent 99 cowl FOs.
Yay!
And it's just to post your FOs, so I wanted to just draw a prize from that thread. So, and this is just a chat open thread, so we'll pick one. If it's a comment only, then we'll go to the next post that is an entry, a photo.
Below? Above or below?
After, the next after, because it would have been that one if it wasn't for the comment, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah, just...
So hopefully we get... I'm just going to go with the number. Most of them are entries with photos. So we are at 19. So 2 to 19. I'm loving all the cowls that people are knitting.
Can you pick a random number between 2 and 19, please?
That would be 16.
16.
Right. 16. It's Magundi. It was... She used
look at that.
a Karen cake in
good
shades
call.
of purple. And she says she's going to try a DK weight next.
You see it?
There. It's really there.
Yay!
I had it for a second.
Yay!
Okay. So thank you for entering, everyone. Well, not entering because I didn't say there'd be prizes. So this is a surprise prize.
What's she winning out of the deal? Yay!
I'm going to send her a needle keeper.
Oh, good colors for her too.
Yeah. Hey, I wanted to talk about these because at the pop-up shop, there was someone who was asking about them who hadn't really used them before and wasn't totally sure. So can I borrow your those? Do you have a sock on the needle?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there are different ways you can use these. If you have a circular needle and you don't want your knitting to fall off when you put it in your bag, you can use this 2 ways. You can take the 2 needles, put them together, slip them inside, and then close the snaps, okay? And they're pretty secure in there, so your stitches aren't going to fall off.
Look at that.
Or, depending on how much play you have with your needles, you can lay them this way, like going in opposite directions.
I would do that if it was lace or something.
Yeah, just to be sure, right? Tuck them in and make sure the cords are outside of the snap, right? And then just snap, and they're pretty secure in there. And then if you have double points and you're working on a sock, now I'm giving you a preview of my sock. We'll talk about that in a bit. I usually just organize it with all the needles kind of about the same length. So push them like that. And then tuck them into...
How's that going?
into the needle keeper. Your sock hangs down between the two snaps and just snap.
It's so much easier when you can leave it on the table, isn't it?
Then you can throw this in your bag or whatever, and you're not going to have to worry about a needle slipping out and all your stitches coming off.
The other
right?
thing too is when you go to grab it, you're not going to grab that one needle and
Yes.
pull it out.
Oh, I do. Oh,
We've all
I'm
done
okay
that.
with that because I do it all the time. So I know how to pick up. Like it doesn't freak me out. But that's 3 different ways you can use these. So they're really handy, and we're going to mail one to Magundi.
No, I do bad things with mine. I actually will take it and I will put a darning needle in here.
Oh, okay.
Like just in either through the label or through the material somewhere.
Just stick it in
so
there.
I can finish them once they're done. I can pretty much just darn them and then cut the ends when I get some scissors, right?
That's a good idea.
So yeah.
Some of my new ones, I'm putting the label on the outside.
Okay.
But yeah, you could do that too. So congrats. And I'm just looking her name. Judy. Oh, she's in St. Albert, Alberta, Canada. Congrats, Judy. Thanks for knitting my cowl. The Fiber Friends still have their Agent 99 cowl knit along going on, I think, till the end of October. So you can enter your cowls in their knit along, and I've donated a bag to them for a giveaway prize. So that's existing knit alongs.
Yeah.
New knit alongs. We just decided, like right before podcasting.
Yep.
Do you want to tell them what we're going to do? 2 of them.
Well, I think one of the things that we're going to do is we both want to do a sweater.
Yeah.
So we're going to do a sweater knit along. And we're going to, you know what, we're going to have it a little bit longer because Christmas is in there.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah.
Everyone's doing gift knitting, and sweaters might take a little longer anyways, especially if you're doing finger weight or color work. So we'll start this probably by the time you see this. We'll just open it up, but you're hearing about it now. And there will be a sweater knit along on our Ravelry group. And
January?
end of January. So that'll be November, December, January.
Yeah.
Is that long enough? 3 months?
We could do 4.
You want to do 4?
Let's do 4.
Okay, end of February.
3.5.
Because of the holiday gift knitting, right?
You know what?
End of February.
Yeah. I would go.
I'm going to write this down so we don't forget.
Yay! And the other thing, I would like to, I love this. I want to try this.
Brioche.
This is Marley. It's a plain triangle, but it's all done in brioche. I even purchased...
That's nice. This is by Andrea Mowry, Drea Renee Knits. And here's an idea of how it's going to look. Right? So it's just a big triangular shawl, but it's brioche.
But I want to knit it in...
I think it's going to be gorgeous.
These 2 colors together.
So if you haven't knit brioche before, what happens is one color will be dominant on one side, and then it's pretty much reversible, and when you flip it, the other color will be dominant on the other side. But you do see both colors on each side. So that's going to look gorgeous.
Yeah, so that's, I'm dying to try that.
Well,
so
and
we'll
you want to do that. So we were both just thinking we wanted to try a brioche project. For me, I have not used the skein of yarn yet that Knitting Wolf, that Barry gave us from Knitting Wolf Luxury Yarns. So this is how it is caked up. This is again the Lewis's No Bully Blues. Oh my God, it's beautiful. And I thought this would be stunning in brioche. I've partnered it with the Manos del Uruguay Alegria, just in a natural color.
It's pretty.
And because of the intensity of the blues, I wanted to do a test. So I just knit up a little swatch and washed it. No bleed whatsoever.
Yay!
So totally safe to use.
That's actually a really good idea if you're doing any form of color work.
Yeah.
With different colors
well, and
together.
especially with a light, like natural color, right? Because if there was any like bleed, you'd totally notice it. So I did a test. It's absolutely fine. And I just thought these 2 colors together will be a stunning brioche. However, I didn't want to pick an easy brioche pattern.
Oh no.
I looked at a couple that were kind of meandering, like they have increases and decreases. And if you haven't seen a brioche chart before, it's not your typical chart. I'm just gonna go up close so you don't give away any details. And that's because each row is one of the colors and you ignore the other color pretty much, right? So there's the chart symbols stretch over 2 rows because you're knitting on 1 row and ignoring it on the... Ugh. I looked at this and I thought my head was gonna explode. And I've done charts before, but not this kind of a brioche chart. And so I'm looking at 2 patterns. One is a little more complex than the other. They both have fully written instructions. The only thing is, because of the way the pattern is laid out, like instead of a row being one long row of text on the written pattern, it's like, it looks like a little paragraph, right? So it wraps. So trying to keep your place on that line is really difficult. So it's just slow going to make sure where I am on that.
Oh, look at me. I picked something straight lines.
So this is how far I got. Yeah. Oh, and then I think what I did to really complicate things, did I do a provisional cast on? No, I didn't. I was going to do a provisional cast on because I wanted to turn it into a cowl. Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Because, yeah, why? And I didn't. And what I will do is if I have to, I will just seam it. Because I think it would just be easier in a cowl. So we'll see. This is looking really wide, isn't it? Like for a scarf. Although it's going to suck in a bit because it's got some... I'm going to try and stick with it. If not, there is a pattern for just... oh, and I haven't even talked about... I don't remember what pattern it is. So once I have more to show, if I stay with it, I'll show it on our next episode. Okay. There is a really nice pattern for a basic brioche scarf where it's just straight. But it just looks like stripes. I mean, it looks nice because it's brioche, but it still just looks like stripes. And I'm not crazy on just stripes.
You don't like stripes.
I don't like big chunky stripes.
I like stripes.
But I love this yarn and I think it'll just look stunning in brioche. So I think it has to be brioche so that you really see that blue. If I'm going to do brioche, I'm going to do it a beautiful brioche. So, oh, and this is in my bold and blue project bag, which I'll do a shop update at the end. There'll be at least one of these coming back to the shop. So I will do something in brioche. We'll see if it's this, if it ends up being this scarf or cowl or whatever I do. So both of those knit-alongs will be kicking off. And I think the brioche one we'll do for 3 months because they're usually a bit smaller projects, right? Okay. So, wow. We've been going and going and we haven't even gotten to the knitting. Let's talk FOs.
Okay, FOs.
You go first.
Okay, so I took a hiatus from socks. I was having problems with, let me just finish this row. I got one more stitch.
Okay, I'm going to fix my...
There we go. Okay. So, I did, last time I showed these on the podcast because they weren't quite done yet. And now they're all done. Yay!
It's a basic vanilla sock.
Yeah, simple, easy peasy, 64 stitches, gusset heel.
Heel flap and gusset. And you use a 2.25 millimeter needle.
Yep, I use
usually ChowGoo. We both like ChowGoo.
Yeah, so it's really cute. I did that.
I love it. And this yarn
is the Wisdom Yarns.
Yes.
By Prose, yeah, and it's the blue colorway.
By is it Universal Yarns?
Yep.
We've talked about it on previous episodes.
Yeah, I have.
And she'll make a Ravelry project and put all the details in there.
Okay.
I haven't done my Aura cowl yet either.
Okay.
My Aura shawl.
So I did that. It's nice, eh? I like the blues.
I like the colors.
It's
pretty.
Yeah. So I have the same ball. I'm going to do it again. But I'm going to do
another
an
ball
afterthought heel. Yeah. So yeah.
That's crazy.
So I did that.
Cool.
And then...
These are gorgeous. Leo and Roxy.
So this is called Laffy Taffy.
I love it. It totally is Laffy Taffy.
Yeah. And they don't match. I don't like my socks matching. So one goes up, one goes down.
Cool.
So yeah.
And the heel and toe
is Leo and Roxy. And I did a double decrease afterthought heel.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And it's just, this was a surprise mini, right?
No.
you bought this in a kit.
No, I bought that in a kit. I think it's like
So,
tropical sunrise or something.
okay.
Yeah.
This is a double decrease heel where you only end up with the one line of decreases. And you can find instructions for this in the Smooth Operator Socks pattern by Susan B.
Yep.
Anderson. She includes a regular decrease as well as this
Yep.
one.
I just like that one.
Yeah. It's an excellent pattern because it's like a class. It has photos for each step and really detailed instructions. So if you haven't tried an afterthought heel before, that's a good pattern to guide you through.
Yep. Now the other thing is I wanted to do the double decrease at the toe,
Oh, okay.
but because I do 2 at a time magic loop, it's very difficult
Okay.
because as you come
the
around,
different needles. Oh, yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I come around, I would have to leave it there and then come back
You
for
have
it.
to pop it off and put it on deep
Yeah,
ends.
so we'll see how that goes.
Those are lovely. Way to go, Lisa.
Those
2
are
pairs of
very
socks.
bright.
I knit the Snap Hat. This is by Tin Can Knits. I'm a little close. I'm just coming up to show the colors. So basically, you hold 4 strands of
Fingering.
different colors. Well, you could do the same color, but you hold 4 strands of fingering weight together, and then you just randomly, periodically change one of the strands. So I started with, I think,
Mostly dark.
2 navy and 2 of this pinks multicolored. And then somewhere in about here, I changed one of the navies to a pink, and then I ended up changing another one. And so it's a way of fading, but you're blending the colors as you go without totally stopping and changing to another color. So these are Koigus.
They just use numbers for theirs.
They're all numbers,
Yeah.
and I don't have them
Don't worry about it.
here. But these were all Koigu. I got them at Little Red Mitten. They had a sample knit up, and actually the pattern is written with the garter on the outside. So the whole thing is purled in the round, and I can't stand purling.
They make you purl it in the round. They don't just tell you to knit it and flip it over.
I don't know. No,
Knit it, flip it over.
now I have no idea. Maybe they do. No, but then I don't know. And anyway,
Knit it and flip
I
it
don't
over.
care for the look of the pearl bumps. And I saw a sample made up at Little Red Mitten that was this side out. So I did it. I just knit it in the round, this side out.
I do like the bumps.
You don't mind them. I tolerate them. Like garter stitch, it's convenient. It's good in shawls. I tolerate it. Oh, and this is a pom-pom. I think this blue one I got from, it's navy blue. I think I got it from Fabricland.
It's nice.
It's not as nice as some of the other pom-poms I've bought, but it's okay. It goes with the colors. So the colors are on my Ravelry page. I think Koigu colors are mostly well, they do
They're
have a
just
name, but they're
numbers.
numbers. So there was a navy, a pinky,
Pink and
multicolored, one with more blues in it. And then at the top, I actually blended it with a little bit of a cream color. And that's it. And you can use 3 colors
4 colors.
or 4 colors. I picked 4. Yeah. So that's a
Very
Snap
good.
Hat by Tin Can. It's really fun knit. Really super fast. I did this in one day. Like it was a Sunday. I started it in the afternoon, finished it in the evening. It's a great way to use up sock scraps if you have colors that you can blend together, right? So you don't have to go out and buy yarn. You can use up your sock scraps this way. Sock scraps. I can't remember what size needle I used. I think it was a 5.5. It's in my project page.
Again,
That's my
for
hat.
that, remember that you have to use the needle that you need to get gauge.
Yeah, let's talk about that now on my cowls. Okay. So, with my agent, well, no, it came up with the Not Too Fancy hat pattern. We can talk about that now. I did a Not Too Fancy hat in worsted weight. The pattern was written for bulky. It was tested on bulky. The needle size recommended is to get the gauge for the pattern. So there have been a couple people that got a different gauge. And I don't know if they did a gauge swatch. But if you're getting a different result or the fit is different, if your gauge matched, you should get the same result because it's gauge is gauge, like, right?
You also, yes and no, because if you might try a square. Like in my situation, I got gauge on the flat,
Okay.
but my gauge was different in the round.
Okay.
So that's something that you have to bear in mind.
Yeah.
As you're knitting the hat, you should be double checking that
Yeah.
you get, or as you're knitting the item, double check that you're getting gauge. Especially when it comes to sweaters or anything that
We're fit.
fit
And this is
important.
written as a snug fitting hat. So if you're way off on gauge or a little bit off on gauge, you could have something that's a bit too tight. Or if you use a different yarn than recommended. So gauge is a whole bigger conversation, but basically the recommended needle size in a pattern is a recommended, like a guideline for what the pattern designer used to get the gauge in the pattern.
It's what the designer used.
Yeah.
So
I almost never use the same size needle as a pattern calls for. I usually have to go down a little bit to get gauge. I don't always do a gauge swatch because if I'm knitting a scarf or a shawl, not that critical. But anything where fit matters, yeah. So I wanted to do a test for worsted, and in my pattern I include instructions. I include instructions for adjusting and how many repeats you need to add if you wanted to make a different size or use a different weight of yarn. So I thought I'm going to go ahead and try worsted. I added 2 repeats. My pattern will tell you how many stitches you need to do that. And
that's pretty.
Voila, it fits. So I haven't written up the project page. I just finished it the other day and I haven't blocked it. But I don't even need to. Like, this is really, and I'm a loose knitter, so I get a lot of play in my fabric. And I used a 4mm needle. Actually, this is an Aran weight. This is hedgehog Aran, but it's not heavy. It's like, it could be worsted. It might as well be worsted. So yeah. So this is a worsted prototype. If anyone's thinking of making it in worsted, just like I said, I added 2 pattern repeats and went to a 4mm. I haven't measured the gauge on this yet, so I will add that to my Ravelry page. But yeah, you may need to be, if you're a tighter knitter than me, you may need to add 3 repeats. And other than that, the decreases and everything else are pretty much the same. The measurements are pretty much the same, like, you know, however many inches you want to go before you decrease. So I have a worsted one done. Yay! And that's my not too fancy hat. As far as the cowls go, I'm going to take this off now. I did a version of the Agent 99 cowl where I held fingering and mohair together.
It looks beautiful.
I blocked it. It is definitely worthwhile to block out your cowl. It really, this edge can go a little bit ripply as you're knitting. So it really flattens it out, like just straightens it out. And you can, you know, block it out and bring the point down a little nicer, and it flattens out these sections. So you get really nice stitch definition in here. I used fingering and mohair. These are handmaiden. So I had the handmaiden Aura bundle. Yep. Which was 2 skeins. So a single fingering and a mohair together. And it's their angel hair base, which is 70% kid mohair, 30% nylon. Okay. And their mini maiden, which is 50% silk, 50% wool. So these were a bundled set. And so just, you could use a fingering and a mohair. I stuck with the same needle size because it was pretty close to gauge, and it's actually a little bit drapier than if you just used like a worsted. And I love it. I love it, love it, love it. It's really nice. So if you're using a fingering and you want to add mohair, you're going to get a slightly looser, really drapey fabric, which is really pretty. And you can see the halo on the mohair there. I love this color. It's kelpie. So that is that. And then I wanted to have a little bit of fun. So this is a worsted version, but I did not do the pattern. I just did straight stocking stitch. And otherwise it's just knit pretty much the same. I knit till I was starting to run out of yarn, and I started weighing the skein. so I knew
So
how
you have
much to
seed
finish.
stitch at the top and at the bottom.
I
just
did
like
the
the other
seed
one.
stitch.
Okay.
I actually did a few more rows. I'll put that in my Ravelry. I think I did 5 and 5. And no, this was the mohair. Oh, I should just show these. These are the 2 skeins. Held double. Okay. Organized. So I had this much left. Like it's just a few grams. So I just would knit, when I was getting close to the end, I would knit a row or work a row if it was in seed and then weigh it. And then I kind of knew how much I was using per row because you only increase 2 stitches every second row. So it was pretty consistent. And then I knew, okay, I better finish soon because I'm not going to have enough for 2 more rows.
Must stop now.
So this is Shirley Bryan yarn.
Yep.
She has beautiful yarn, beautiful colors. Her worsted is just gorgeous. And this is 100% superwash merino. And this is her Isla Sorna colorway.
It's pretty.
Yes.
Reminds me of a more intense of.
It's beautiful. It's rosy pinks. I'm just going to hold this up here and show you. Rosy pinks with flecks of black. A few little orangey gold flecks. Oh, it's just gorgeous. I loved it. This knits up so fast, especially when you're not having to do any pattern. Super fast knit. So I just wanted to show you there's different ways you can play with this pattern and do different versions. And if you're tired of knitting all of the pattern in it, like the texture, just do straight stocking stitch.
Especially if you have
Ta-da!
a pretty ball of yarn like that.
Yeah, this yarn. Yeah, exactly, right? And that's, again, picking the right yarn for the project. This yarn is way too speckled and way too busy for a textured pattern. You wouldn't even see the texture.
You lose a lot of the seed stitch.
Yeah.
But the seed stitch stops it from rolling.
Because even here, right? It's
you don't notice it as much.
No.
But it stops it from rolling. So
Yeah.
I get it. But
Yep. I like the seed stitch as a border, but you wouldn't see it in here.
Yeah.
And I just wanted this yarn to shine on its own. I didn't want anything to detract from all the beautiful pattern and color in it. So, love this. Any other FOs? Yes, I have one more FO.
what you got?
I have my Knit Sister tube scarf.
Oh,
Finally.
nice.
This is the Knit Sister tube scarf by Adrian Sauter. And it's super duper long. And I haven't blocked it yet, but it's super duper long. So that I can wrap it and it can still hang. Way back almost a year ago. It was for Christmas. It was it when we went to Kitchener?
No, it was at
When
Christmas
did she get? It was at
time.
Christmas time. We went to visit Adrian for a knit night in London. And she gave us kits to make this. So this is her pattern. I have it here. The Knit Sister tube scarf. And she gave us kits that she dyed in, I think, 15 different colors.
I don't know.
13, a bunch of different colors of MCN.
I should have brought mine.
Yeah, Lisa did hers. She did the whole block of one color and then changed colors. I added a few, I have a few speckles from other projects I've done. I have a few special ones. So this color is actually a color that Adrian dyed for the their very first kit for the Fiber Friends.
Right.
Yeah, and it was for the release of Louise's Rambling Friends sock pattern. So I haven't used the yarn yet, but I just rolled out a little wee bit and added that in. So there's a few memories worked into this one. And it's just, it's a tube that you knit up. You can randomly change the stripes if you want. You could do it in all one color. I did weave in my ends a little bit and just cut them. I don't have to worry about cutting them short because it's all on the inside. You could, because of the way it's constructed, you could just knot them and leave them. You don't have to weave in because there were a lot of ends with this many color changes, right? And I just did a rolled edge. I let it roll. Let it roll.
I did a different rolled edge. I used a smaller needle to do the last little bit.
Yeah.
And it just doesn't roll as much.
Really good tip.
So basically what you do is, I think I went down a whole, I did it in a 3.5 and I went down to a 2.5. And basically it's so tight, it just rolls a little bit because
Yeah.
it can only roll onto itself because then it gets
Yeah.
wider. So
I like that idea. So that's a really good tip if you ever have a rolled edge for something, is use a smaller needle.
but if you have to put your head through it, that could be hard.
Yeah. But on like the Rose City roller socks, that would
Yep.
work. Or on this, or on a sweater bottom.
Yep.
Because especially a sweater, I hate when they roll because they don't roll evenly. Like you'll have a high spot and a low spot. So that's a really good tip to do. You taught me this where you can, like if you're working, let's say from this edge, you start here, you knit a few rows and then you do a purl row.
Yep. And then
It'll kind of stop rolling at that purl row.
Yep.
So I just did lots of the cream color at the end so that when it rolls,
You only get cream anyway.
I still only see cream on the underside.
That's, yeah.
Yeah. And you don't have to block this. I'm only going to block it because there are a few sections where I had actually cut a piece off.
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah.
yeah. And I reknit the colors so they're just a little bit bumpy because they were curled. The yarn was curled. Love it, love it, love it. Last one. This is actually a hoe. I did a sample knit for Louise of Wildflower Wool. This is her Rambling Friends sock pattern. And it is knit in cog yarns. It's an 80-20
I love that
Bradley
name.
Bradley Cooper eyes. Check it out. Look at this color. It's amazing. So I still have to do the second sock. I did one for her. She was doing the Kitchener show.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, wasn't that for the Kitchener?
Yeah, and I just want to show. So it's just the front that has this really easy to remember lace panel repeat, right? And then on the back, there's just a little
Reminds you of the seams on
A
the
little
old,
seam up
the
the
old
back.
fashioned
Yeah. Oh, I'm holding it
nylons.
way
Do
over
you
there.
remember those?
Yeah,
It's very pretty.
love it. This was a really quick knit. It just felt like it sped by.
Nice.
And this is really nice yarn. So Cog Yarns, Bradley Cooper eyes. I think it's been a very popular color. And especially now that his movie with Lady Gaga has been released, A Star is Born, he can sing. Man, he can sing. He's a perfect storm, that man. So this is a beautiful colorway and it's really nice yarn. So you're gonna want to get your hands on some Bradley Cooper eyes by Cog Yarns.
Very nice.
Yeah. Is that all? That's all for finished objects. We finished a lot of
Yay.
stuff, but then it was also a few weeks.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah. And some of it, I had this scarf going for a year, so whoops. I love it. I love it. I wear this, my office gets really cold at night because it's like the far corner of the house. So sometimes if I'm working in here in the evening now, I'll just put this around my neck and it's just enough. Okay, how about you? Whips. You're busy knitting away on something.
I am. I'm working on... I have to get this done because if I don't, I'm going to be... It's my European road trip shawl.
It's by Spas Tricot.
Yeah. It's beautiful. It's gorgeous. It's linen and cashmere. And
This
then
is Sylph by Jade Sapphire, the Sylph base.
it's gorgeous. It's stunning and it's beautiful.
It's a big parallelogram.
parallelogram. Haven't done the other end yet.
You're into the third ball?
I am into the... I only bought 4.
It's gorgeous.
So I have that much of the third left, but I also have half of the other ball to do the parallelogram.
Yeah.
So yeah. But I have to get it done. I have to get it out of the house. Well, not out of the house. I have to get
You
it
have to
away
lock it up.
from the yarn form. My monster loves cashmere. I've decided it's cashmere. Like,
Is that the only one he goes after?
that's the only one he will actually fight me for, and he will run away with.
Her cat Sawyer is a yarn snob.
Yeah, so I came home the other day, yesterday, wasn't it? And
Yes.
yeah, it was all over the house.
I'm knitting the same shawl or wrap. It's in the kitchen on a slightly lighter gray color.
Yeah.
And I haven't touched it for a while, so I need to get cracking on mine too.
Remember
How we had these big plans? We were going to work on it on our vacations over the summer.
And I did a worsted boxy instead.
Goes on vacation and it's a worsted boxy.
box. Where's the box?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
So that's your whip.
That's my whip. I have a couple. I haven't really started anything because I ripped that sweater back. So I am going to do a Ravelry by Isabel Kramer.
What's that? Sweater?
Yeah, it's a sweater. It's a kind of plain fingering sweater, raglan decreases. I have a pattern picture here. Make sure I don't grab your boo boo.
Your hands are cold.
I know I'm freezing.
Would have been funny. Oh, okay, I like that.
So that's
Are
it.
you striping it? Or
I'm not
doing
striping it.
Okay.
I'm not striping it.
Okay.
So just plain, and I think I'm going to use the stuff that I have from my swag.
Okay, the gray.
The gray.
Gray.
It's Sweet Georgia Tough Sock Silver.
You should do stripes just at the top. Maybe not even that many, just do a couple. No?
Yeah, I'll see.
Dark gray?
I'll see.
Light gray, dark gray.
I'll see.
Okay.
So what are you doing?
Well, I showed you guys the attempt at brioche, which is, there's like 3 rows, so can't even really count it yet. And I'm not 100% sure I'm sticking with that pattern.
Oh, okay.
Because it's just so complex, it's going to take forever. But I'll see. I'll try it. I'll give it a more of a fair try, right?
Oh, and I do have another pair of socks on the go.
Well,
it looks like I'm having issues with socks now.
That's
I
good.
can't stop. That's good.
Socks are good to have on the needles, right? You can always just sit. So I picked up from Kitchener, Leo and Roxy. This is peppermint and this is holly. And this is exactly perfect color representation. So red and white speckle and a green. And I'm totally copying Noelle of Knits and Pieces podcast, our friend Noelle here in Sarnia. She picked up Leo and Roxy, but it was a red, white, and green speckle. And then she had a different green from another dyer that she used. And she did Waiting for Henry sock, which is by Tabby Gandy of Hey Sister podcast.
Okay.
And it's actually a pattern that Tabby wrote when she was expecting her son Henry. So it was
that's
called
cool.
it's called Waiting for Henry. And it's beautiful, done in, I think it calls for 3 colors, but it's beautiful done in solids. Like, go to the project page, check out her samples as well as other projects. They're gorgeous. And her sister have a yarn dyeing company as well, and they did do kits for this pattern.
Oh, cool.
It's amazing. So Noelle did this where she did the speckle and then this pattern just in green.
Now, did you do a different pattern than she did?
Nope. Because hers has green flecks in her main color, it looks a little
It
different.
looks really different.
Yeah.
Hers
Well-
actually looks like branches.
Yeah, because you get some of the green in here, right?
Yeah.
So I did this, and then it's got some ribbing, and I'm going to do an afterthought heel.
Okay, green.
Yeah, in the green. Heel and toe. So I'm getting close to where I would need to do the toe. This was easy. My color work section is a little bit, tension's a little wonky. It looks a little bumpy. We'll see how that flattens out when I block it. Not bad. I was trying to do it loosely. And then I think my straight knitting row is inside or a little tighter. I tried to do those loosely too. So anyways, it's super cute. Super fun. I love this pattern. I didn't want to do a really long leg though because I'm concerned. I tried to do it loosely, but I'm concerned that it won't get too high up on my leg because I have bigger calves. Love it. And this is, so I'm using Leo and Roxy's sock yarn for the first time. Love, love, love it.
Cool.
Yeah, and these, I'm just going to show again because these are in my bag by My Needlecrafts, and I got this last year. These Christmas cats. Just love it.
Love it.
It's a perfect size for a colorwork sock because it just comfortably holds 2 skeins or 2 cakes and your project.
Very
This is going really quick. Like I started this. Well, I started it last week, but yeah.
That's good.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
that's my whip. Brioche, my road trip. I did start Groovy Over, but I'm not in a. I don't have my pants on fire to finish that, so I'll work on it when I work on it because you have to, so many sections, like so many rows, and you change yarn. So many rows, change yarn. But I did start it over, so we'll save that for another day. And dream knitting, casting on. So we both are getting together with the Fiber Friends this weekend, Friday night, just for a little knit together.
Yep.
And I think I started it with Adrian was talking about doing a gauge swatch for a sweater. So I said, well, why don't we make it cast on Friday?
Mm-hmm.
And then someone else said, how about 2? Who brought that up?
Not me.
Someone. Anyways, it wasn't me either. But somehow it turned into
Cast on
2 things on Friday. So I've been wanting to make fingerless mitts. So I think I'm going to decide on a pattern. I'm waving this at you. Decide on a pattern and decide on a yarn. And I also have been looking at the new, there's a new cowl just came out by Espace Tricot called In the Loop.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Even though it's stripey, and I'm not a stripey person, I
But
like it.
That's not a huge amount of stripes for, and I think part of the thing is it's around here because that looks nice on you. I don't think you want it around like.
No, it's long and it's a long cowl that you can double up.
Yeah. So I don't think it reads as stripes.
Oh yeah.
Right.
I mean, this is striped, and I love this. This is just fun. So yeah, maybe I'll do that. I have to pick colors for that. And I also am gauge swatching for a sweater.
Yeah.
I want to do the easy one, Bulky by Joji Locatelli. And I am gauge swatching in Brooklyn Tweed Quarry. I wasn't getting gauge on my first attempt, and I started with the recommended needle size, and I actually went up a bit because I was too tight.
Mm-hmm.
And
she's a very loose knitter.
Well, the only thing is that when I went up a size, the fabric almost looks too loose. And I'm thinking...
Did you block it?
No. So I haven't done that. But the other thing I thought, and I discussed this with Kelly at the pop-up shop, because she bought the same yarn. I don't have it in front of me.
Oh.
Or is this it? This is it. Okay. So when I first kicked this, I wound it on my winder.
Yes, you have to do stuff like that lightly.
This yarn is basically like roving. Like you can just pull and pull it right apart. So I'm wondering if doing it on my winder maybe just stretched it out a little bit and it was a tad thinner. So then I hand wound another ball.
Now when you hand wound that, did you put your hand in it?
No.
Okay. Just quick tip, sorry.
Yeah.
Is do you have something I can okay, here. So that's attached. Can I see this one's not attached?
Yeah, no, it's still attached
Okay,
to this.
so basically what you do is you take your hand and you go like this.
Yeah.
And your hand is in it. And then, so your hand is in there. And you...
Yeah, I started it that way.
And then you hold the ball, go around this way, and you always have your hand in it so it's never too tight.
Oh, I did it really loosely.
Yeah.
But I did start it that way.
That's a trick, because that's how all the balls I have like that are done with my hand in it.
Well, I did it fairly loosely. And so I did another gauge swatch last night. I was working on it, and I just have to, I haven't measured it yet. But I also haven't soaked these. So because this is a sweater and this is a yarn I've never used before, I'm going to actually wash these swatches, because this being this kind of a yarn, it may plump up.
It will actually.
Right? So then maybe my bigger needle tension will be fine if it just plumps a little bit with washing. I just don't want it to be, and I'm still not on gauge, like I'm close, but I thought if I go up another needle, like you can already see holes through it, right? So I don't want it to be that loose of a fabric. So I'm going to wash these, measure this on the hand wound ball. Although when you look at them, oh yeah, maybe it looks a tiny bit thicker in some spots. Anyways, it's not a scratchy yarn for being pure wool. It's not. It's got a different feel though. I messaged Lisa last night and I was telling her that when I'm knitting, I don't like how it feels in my hand. Like it doesn't glide, like, you know, when I'm tensioning it, it just doesn't flow through my fingers nicely. It feels almost a little bit sticky. And I wasn't sweaty, like I had nice, clean, dry hands. But I like, the fabric feels okay. Like this is not going to scratch my skin or bug me in any way. So I'm okay with it. I am going to keep going.
Go crazy.
It's just that when I'm knitting, it's not as fast. And I'm actually contemplating, instead of tensioning it around my finger like I usually do, just holding it and wrapping but that'll make my gauge looser.
So you'll have to gauge,
So I'd have to
swatch
gauge doing that.
way.
And I'll probably forget and wrap my fingers. So I don't know. Maybe I'll just stick with what I usually do.
I would stick with what you usually do.
So I
It's
have
too
to
hard
just
to change it.
Yeah, I have to just wash these now from the 2 different cakes and then see what I like. And I will hand wind the rest of the balls just because I don't want to take the chance that I'm stretching this too much and thinning it out. So, but if you're someone like me who doesn't care for the really rough, rustic feel, this isn't bad. Like if you're looking for a nice sweater yarn and a chunky weight, like, you gonna feel it? Well, you don't mind the rougher, but it's not bad at all.
It's not bad.
No, it almost feels like felt, like it's been felted a little bit. It's nice. So I'm okay with it.
I think part of the thing is
will proceed.
when it comes to the rustic yarns, those are the ones that give you the really good stitch definition.
I know. They're great for color work.
They're good for color work. They're good for cables. They're good for all of those things. And it's, I don't have a problem with it, but I would be giving it up. I would gladly give it up to get the stitch definition if I was doing color work or a texture.
So, and I don't know that I would ever do a color work sweater. I'd be okay with hats and mitts. Yeah. Partly because I don't know that I ever would, but partly because I know the best choice of yarn for it, and I don't know that I'd love wearing it. And
I think you also have to bear in mind, I normally wear a t-shirt underneath my wool sweaters.
I know a lot of people do, but then I'm like, I don't want to do that. Like if I wear a sweater, it's because it's cold and I want to wear a sweater, and if I wear a t-shirt under it, I feel like I'd be too hot. I don't know, maybe not. Or I may find there are soft 100% wools.
You don't wear sweaters.
Not usually.
I've never seen you in a sweater.
I wear lightweight, like thin knits, right? Lightweight sweaters. I had one years ago that was 100% wool, and it was commercially made. I bought it from like some clothing store, chain store in a mall. Might have been Northern Reflections. I can't remember. It was a beautiful sweater, and I probably still have it packed away in a tote somewhere. It'd be too small for me now. I loved it, and it was a tiny bit pricky, but I loved it. I used to wear that. Oh, it was creams and blues.
You used to be able to order them from businesses that bought them from Peruvian artists. Remember those big thick sweaters? I had a couple of those.
Oh, they're really thick. You still see those sometimes in gift shops and different places. So okay, I think we're done.
Are we done? Boop, boop.
I don't have anything else to talk about.
No.
This was longer than we intended, but we did have a lot to talk about. So hey,
this yarn is a little bit more splitty. I see what you mean.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thanks for watching.
Thanks for joining us.
We were a lot more sober this episode.
Yes, no giggle fest.
No giggle fest. So thanks for watching. We'll put a few pictures at the end here. We have, I think, a few pictures from our trip to Woodstock, a few pictures of our pop-up shop with Leo and Roxy. I don't know if we have too many other pictures this time. We'll just throw a few in. So if you want to stick around for those, great. And if not, thanks again. And if you enjoy our podcasts, we hope you'll click like and subscribe.
And check out Instagram.
We are on Instagram.
And
we have a Ravelry group.
Yeah.
We tend to post a lot more on Instagram, because we aren't podcasting as frequently as we used to. But we do put little things up on Instagram.
We gotta get our stuff together.
Yeah.
So
thanks again.
All right, happy knitting. Thank you.
Hi guys. I forgot to do a shop update when we were podcasting. So it's just me for a few minutes here just to give you a quick update about my shop. I have been on vacation through the summer, and I've been meaning to get back to sewing, so I finally have. And there are some new things coming. So I just want to show you a quick preview of some of the new fabrics that I will be bringing to my shop. This is really fun. Sock monkeys with little hats and toques. And they'll have, I think, a red bottom, and there'll be different sizes in that bag. And then for a holiday print, I have these flamingos in Santa hats. Super cute. And this will be the coordinating fabric. So these sparkly blue snowflakes. Both of these bags will be coming in zippered bags as well as drawstring. And then I have a return of some more sock sacks or ball sacks. So these are the shifty-eyed sheep print. And another one of these where I just reversed it and put the darker fabric at the top. And these have snaps. So you can have your yarn ball in here. There's quite a lot of room in here. You can have your yarn inside and then close it and just have the thread coming out if you just want to use it to keep it to organize your ball while you're knitting. I can fit a sock in here, especially if you have DPNs or if you're using the small 9-inch circs, you can totally fit your sock in here while you're knitting. So it's a convenient little micro bag to fit, to organize your knitting. And then I have another new fabric, which I just love. So this is a bag for myself that I made. I needed a sweater size bag for my first sweater. So it's this, there's a turquoise swirl at the bottom, and I have a few different lining fabrics on the inside. And there's only a few of these. I just didn't buy a lot of this fabric, so those will be going into my shop. And return, I have another bold and blue bag. I love this fabric. It's just beautiful. It's such a bright blue color. So that will be back in my shop. And then I'm making tons of needle keepers. So there'll be also needle keepers in the new fabrics. And it's just, since we just talked about them, we thought I'd make a bunch more. And the beautiful thing about these is that if you just want to order a needle keeper, or I could probably fit 2, I can fit them in just a single regular sized envelope. So shipping is minimal. So you don't have to pay an arm and a leg for shipping for ordering such a small item. So those will all be going in my shop. My goal is to have them open on November 1. And I will be updating on Instagram when I do open my shop, if you follow me there. And I'll post some pictures of the bags that will be in the shop when it reopens. So thanks so much for your support and your patience in waiting for my shop to open. And I hope you find something you like. Bye.